Should you start your estate agency solo or go with a partner? Today I'm joined...
Sam Ashdown and Phil
No,
Jones.
no. Should you go solo when you start your estate agency or go with a partner? Today I'm joined by Phil Jones and Sam Ashdown, who are estate agency entrepreneurs and gurus and all-round awesome people. Starting your own estate agency with a partner or solo? Talk to me.
What would you say?
Because you do, and not only are you estate agents, you guide and support people, don't you?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so what I'd say is it totally depends on what your end goal is, and it depends who the partner is. If you have a clear understanding, and maybe in a legal agreement, of how the partnership works and looks and ends is a really important thing. So what happens if in 6 months' time you both disagree? How does that end? Amicably, hopefully. Then the partnership can be the best way forward, but it is a marriage. You have to accept that it's a relationship you have to work on. It isn't just something that will be as is when you first open.
I also think it depends on your reason for wanting a partner, because I think when solo agents start, they're quite often looking for a crutch. They're looking around them going, right, well, I feel a bit lost and alone here. I'll get a partner in. And that very often ends badly. We've heard of so many of our mastermind clients that have had to buy out their partners at great personal expense. Yeah. But yeah, Phil's right. I mean, we spend more time together than we spend with our own partners. So what I think works for us is the fact that we're family, so that if Phil wants to take off more time than me a year, which doesn't really happen, I think it's probably about even, but if he does...
He's always on holiday.
Yeah, my holidays are a bit more secret, a bit more kind of like 3 days here and 5 days there, aren't they? Mm. I also work a few less hours than him as well. So, but I'm really happy he's taking my daughter on holiday. So I've got a vested interest in him actually taking more time off. Whereas if I wasn't related to you, I don't know how I'd feel about you taking more weeks off a year than I do. Or taking money out of the business for something important for you as a family. It's difficult, isn't it?
Yeah, and it can still be difficult in your family.
I mean,
yes.
A lot of people say that going into business with someone should be the same amount of due diligence that where you decide to marry them or not.
Yeah, I don't know about that, because I think that what due diligence can you do on somebody's personality, or how... You know, do you have a rule about how many holidays they can take, or whether they can buy a new Porsche? Or
I guess it's like when you get a partner, you don't really know until you live together, do you?
True.
You don't really know a business partner until it hits the fan, and you see how they react. Or
our partnership has lasted 4 times longer than my last marriage.
Yeah.
How long have you worked together?
8 years.
Over 8 years now.
Because you came on the sofa pretty early doors, didn't you?
First year, I think, in 2017, yeah.
I don't think it was that early, but yeah.
So a year before that, Phil had come to me. He was working for SSE, the energy company. You probably said this in the podcast years ago.
Just to interrupt you, we'd just been on holiday together. My boss was in the gym from that time. Crazy, isn't it?
And me, also your boss from this time. So he came to me wanting to start his own business and wanted some advice. So for about a year, we worked together on all these different ideas, and he didn't want any of them.
Was he dating your daughter at this time?
He was dating my daughter, and they had a baby at this time, yeah. So Noah was born in 2015, so this is 2016. And I'm trying to run a coaching practice for estate agents, and he's asking me all these questions. And he didn't
had you opened Ashdown Jones at this point?
No. So he came to me in the December of 2016 and said, why don't we open an estate agent? And I don't know what made me say yes, because he was 24.
I don't even remember asking.
He had no money, no experience. I said to him, I invited him to my house and said,
and he's a young, and he was we've seen the pictures. He's a young.
He looked about 15.
Yeah.
And I didn't even know if him and Molly were going to survive. So
he'd have a baby
though. Risk. Well, that's
although nowadays that means,
as we know, that means nothing, does it? But the risk that I took was that my practice would have imploded, my coaching practice, because if I can't run our own estate agency, who's going to hire me? So it was a big risk, and I probably didn't give it enough thought at the time. So you talk about due diligence, zero due diligence at all. And I said yes. And here we are 8 years later.
Yeah, we're luck, that's the problem. So asking the question to us would probably not great to answer in terms of how this works.
Okay, but your mastermind where you help estate agents,
Yes.
you must come across an awful lot of people.
We do. I think the biggest challenge we come across is that when agents are brand new and they get sold either a franchise or they get sold a partnership,
License model.
which is great for them at the start, and then but if they're successful, then many want to leave because the fees are too high, and if they're not successful, they get sort of left and don't know where to go. So that's where the most common challenge we see.
Yeah, where it comes to a point, it never really works for both parties at the same time. I remember speaking to, what's he called? Gordon, can't remember his surname now, ran, I think it was Northwood in Carlisle. And when I spoke to him, which was 10 years ago, he was up to 1,000 properties under management. And I thought, well, why do you need Northwood? But he couldn't get out of the, the agreement. And it didn't really work for either of them because he probably resented paying them their fee. They're thinking, thank you very much. But in the early days, they probably over-supported him. So at what point does it become good for both?
Yes, he wouldn't have been there if he didn't have the support, but now he's paid the support.
Yeah.
He's writing checks for 10, 20 grand a month.
Yeah, and more.
And there's self-employed models now where, some have caps, but some don't. And how comfortable would you feel about rating? I used to work for Belvoir, and the spitting feathers of writing the check for 12% got up to 30.
Yeah.
But it depends.
Well, imagine, but we're on probably £1 million turnover now this year. Imagine if we had to give 15% of that away. It would really, really hurt.
That's a big chunk of your profit, isn't it?
150,000.
Yeah.
It is actually probably half our profit.
Yeah, it's why I say it depends what your end goal is. If your goal is, which is absolutely fine, to earn 50, 60,000 pound a year and have freedom, then great. The self-employed model really works.
Okay, but if you recall, we were talking about partnership, and again, we talked about the self-employed model, which again is a type of partnership, and franchise is a type of partnership. But let's just say you got two guys who used to work each other, man and lady, whatever, it doesn't matter, and they set up their own agency. Are you telling me write the agreement to plan for it to fail?
Yes. Have an understanding that at 6 weeks, 10 weeks, a year, what happens if one of us all of a sudden doesn't want to do it, or that it's not working? What happens?
That somebody feels like the other one's not pulling the weight. Because I talk about giving 15% to Belvoir, but actually I give 50% to you.
You did. For no money.
That's going on your holidays, isn't it? I mean,
Exactly.
Just take money away, though.
He does.
So any other great advice to the ladies and gentlemen out there?
I think just be really careful if you're going to enter into a partnership. It's much better if you can somehow own, I don't know, different parts of the business or find some looser way of working together at first, just to check that you're actually compatible. Because it feels right, it is like a marriage. You have to have compatible values, and they're hard to find in somebody anyway, just personally, never mind in a business. But you could be stuck with that person for decades. We've had unsuccessful partnerships, both of us, together, haven't we? And we've both made an agreement with each other. We will never have another partnership again, a business partnership. This is it. We're stuck now with each other. But we also have rules around that partnership. So, for example, if we vehemently disagree with each other on something, then it's the person who's the most vehement that gets their way.
Yeah, who shouts loudest wins.
So he says things like, I strongly believe, because that puts him up on the vehemence ladder.
I think you also have like little markers, 1 to 10, and then you save your markers and you say, right then, we're gonna get your markers and see how. And then you don't want to use your number 10 because
You'd save it for next time.
save it for next time. That's a great idea.
I can tell how red Sam goes, and then I gauge how much actually I'm.
Yeah, should I not? Yeah.
And you have to drop your ego as well.
That's a big one.
That is really hard.
And we never say. I say it in private, but you never say to her, "I told you so."
It's hard to do.
You wouldn't say that to Molly, would you?
No, we don't say. We don't. No, we don't. And we also present a very united front to our team, even if one of us didn't agree.
Yeah, that's important.
Because that's another good point actually. Because people, and including your team and friends, will try and, whether they're trying to or not, but they'll ask questions to try and find holes in your partnership.
A bit like your kids when you're parents.
Yeah. And the moment you give them an inch, they'll keep drilling. So even if you disagree with them, you have to give them
because it gives them uncertainty, and nobody likes uncertainty in their role.
Indeed.
But we had, I asked Phil to give me like a review. We do PAD sessions, performance and development review. So I sat down with Phil last year and said, right, give me a review. So he gave me a review and I said, right, it's my turn to do you. And he goes, no, thanks.
Thank you for your time today. We'll leave it on that bombshell.